Well, I realize it's been a while since I've updated my YouTube channel. Like a really long time. A lot of people that don't follow me on TikTok are probably wondering, where's the 392 Ranger? Well, I still got it. And the 392 is still in it. But it's in pretty bad shape. No, I didn't wreck it. No, it was too fun for that. I liked it too much. Somebody wrecked it for me though. So let's check this out. Let's see, it's still sporting the 392. Got a couple of things missing out of there now because I'm putting it in something else. For this reason. I didn't realize it's been this long, but back in December, somebody decided that they wanted to send that Tickle Talk or tweet or face page post a little bit more than they cared about my safety and, more importantly, my wife. Because, man, I've been beaten banged up before, but that's fine. But so it did a number on it. Right there is a hole where I cut out my fuel pump because this bed's not coming off, not anymore. Well, I guess it would with a Sawzall. So I decided to get this. This is a 1979 Dodge Aspen. And I got it from my buddy over at Layton's Welding. I really appreciate you hooking me up with this car. Go check him out on YouTube. He's got a YouTube channel. And he had this laying around. So I decided to pick it up. Do a bunch of work to it. New front end suspension. All new suspension, steering. Boxed in all the control arms. Still got to get a new steering gear. The booster out of the Ranger, just because it's smaller and I'm gonna need the room. Factory air conditioning. The heater core, believe it or not, is still good, pressure tested, and it's still got coolant in it. And you can see where the wheels and tires off the Ranger come from. That was a challenge, getting those things in there and making them fit, because that's tight, very tight. I have every single part and piece to this car. But right now, I've got it stripped down so I could do prime and paint, get all the interior stuff ready before I start dropping an engine in, because that's what I didn't do on the Ranger, and I wish I would have had done it. So let's pan around to the interior. Don't worry about that. That's just a little part and piece right there. That's good. So all the glass is still intact and in good shape. Of course, you can imagine the weather seals are all dry, cracked, and rotted, but I have new ones of those. These is my mock-up of the bucket seats I'm going to do. It's 2 doors, so get us a little bit of a lever to flip the seats forward. And of course, we got to have a little bit of lumbar support and tilt. It was 2-pedal. Now it is 3-pedal. And of course, all that's gutted out because I got the steering column and everything on it. Got her all undercoated. Everything looks pretty back there. That's a whole trunk full of stuff. If you want to dig through that, go right ahead and maybe paint it while you're at it. Still got some interior work to do. Not bad. Believe it or not, we still got a headliner up here, so that's awesome. Did I mention all the glass was good? That is amazing. So far, 3rd pedal, all the front suspension, steering, and we're gonna go ahead and put a digital cluster in this thing. And door panels have already been off. Everything's been cleaned, lubed, replaced, refurbished, and put some sound deadening back there. Sound deadening is gonna go behind the dash and the floorboard. I love sound deadening. Probably gonna put it in the ceiling too, because that would be awesome. Make it nice and quiet. And There's the rear end. I'll show you that in a second. Here's my big old pile of parts and pieces back here that probably not going to use most of it, but like the front bumper shock absorbers, going to modify those, tuck the front bumper in, tuck the rear bumper in, get rid of the filler panel because they did that for safety reasons, and I hate bumpers sticking out that damn far, so we're gonna tuck those in, make them nice and tight, make them look a lot better. And for the underneath, got rid of the old leaf spring suspension and the old 7 1/4 axle. I put the old 8.8 Ford back in this, took it out of the Ranger, and it beat it up pretty bad, so it's got some new internals, different gearing now. Instead of 410 gears, I'm running a 373, still posi. But notice a new addition down here is a nice triangulated 4-link suspension, and as you can probably guess, this did not come with 4-link suspension, and that took a lot of work, an unbelievable amount of work, like seriously unbelievable. If I had to do it over again, I would not do it. I would have stuck with the leaf springs, but I wanted to try it, and all the geometry worked out fairly correct except for the angle of my lower control arms. I'm going to try it first before I completely modify that. Now I was going to go with airbags, but I don't have enough room for the airbags. It's really tight, really tight, and I'm just pretty much out of room. I almost used that space there, but it's not gonna work. So for now, I've got it sitting on some struts that I built, and that's not where my coolers were gonna live. No, they're gonna live straight up and down because that's too much of an angle. So anyway, and the sway bar is going back in, so I'm keeping my sway bar mounts. You know, so leaf spring mounts are gone. Upper mounts there. And fun fact, this differential is offset. As most people know, if they're familiar with 8.8, the differential is offset to the passenger side just a little bit. Well, it just so happens that Mopar decided to offset their powertrain to the passenger side slightly, and that lines up perfectly with the offset of the Ford rear differential, so I didn't have to shorten it. So that's very cool. As you can see, this whole underside of this car, that's not rust, that's just surface rust, and surface rust we can handle. So there's the rear shock absorbers for the rear bumper. Those are going to get modified too. We're going to tuck them in and hopefully get this car back on the road soon, because I'm itching to drive it. But before I can, transmission tunnel, and it's going to have to be completely cut out because it's not nearly tall enough to put that massive Tremec TR6060 in there, because this more than likely had an old 727 torque flight, and that is a small transmission compared to that Tremec. The Tremec's huge as far as height wise goes. So the tunnel's gonna have to go more than likely. I've got all the metal to do that. And then I've got a whole bunch more bracing that I'm gonna do inside and outside the car. Some torque boxes, tie the front and rear subframes in together. As you can see, all these boxes in here, all of those boxes have car parts, and they're just waiting to be put back on or refurbished. Oh, there's a There's a new wiring harness that I've got built for it already. The wiring harness is ready to go, so that's gonna cover nearly everything that the Holley Terminator ECU doesn't cover. And those shocks are factory for that car. They're not gonna work. There's some really nice exhaust tips up there, and you'll see those later. Those are gonna look good. That's a box of exhaust. There's another box of exhaust. There's some more exhaust. The front grille gonna get refurbished, and I had already done some refurbishment on the park lamps and then proceeded to drop them. There's my big old huge pile of scrap metal. That's not even a parcel of it. So these were broken up pretty bad, and I decided that I was gonna do some epoxy work to them, and then I proceeded to drop them and break them again. So broke some corners off, but man, that's just masking down there. I'm flat black and everything. You can see right there. And also broke a big chunk out of this one after they were perfect and ready to go. But anyway, it's gonna take a whole lot of time, a whole lot of sound deadener, a whole lot of carpet. Oh boy, redoing the back seat. Look, there's a lot to do. And I don't even know if my drive shaft that I had custom built for the Ranger, it cost an arm and a freaking leg, is even gonna work. Now I gotta get the engine out of the Ranger, and the only way that engine comes in and out is raise the cab off of it. Well, I don't have an access to a lift anymore. Well, I do, but I'd rather not use it. So the only way that I know to do this now is to pull the entire front end off and take everything out of the front as one piece, because there's no way you're gonna unbolt the engine and the transmission while it's inside the vehicle, because the bell housing bolts just there's no room. There's absolutely no room. Now this, on the other hand, my gosh, I got all kinds of room, an insane amount of room. But believe it or not, the power steering gearbox is not going to allow for headers, and I'm not even sure for the exhaust manifold, even though I have tons of room for activities. But I really don't think my header is going to clear that, because I'm running stock manifolds on it now, and I really want to run some long tubes on this job. So that's another cost that I wasn't prepared for, but yeah, we got a little bit saved back, so we'll see what we can do. But anyway, this is the old 79 Dodge Aspen, and I'm thinking about calling this one Project Resurrection. If y'all got any better ideas for a name, let me know in the comments or something like that. Heck, man, just put some comments in there. Just let me know how you got some projects going. I would love to hear about those projects or anything else going on. Yeah, let us know. We'll sweep up all these pecan tassels and mail them to you, so you got a little bit of memorabilia. Nah, I'm just messing with you. Anyway, so for Ranger 392 2.0, we'll sign off for now, and we'll keep you posted on it a little bit more regularly.